Welcome to today's video. At 67, Angela Kelly, Queen Elizabeth's longtime confidant and personal assistant, has finally broken her silence after decades of service. Throughout her years at the palace, Angela has been privy to private moments that very few have had the privilege to witness. She stands as the one person who truly understands the Queen's challenges, especially when every move she makes is scrutinized by the world. Angela's revelations uncover the complexities of royal life, providing a rare glimpse into the woman behind the regal facade, someone who, despite her strength, grapples with anxiety and personal battles. If this story fascinates you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0. Don't forget to like and share the video so your friends can join the conversation. And be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more captivating content. This is a story the royal family never wanted to be told. A journey from an ordinary girl to becoming Queen Elizabeth's most trusted confidant. Angela Kelly's rise to prominence wasn't easy, especially in a monarchy bound by rigid protocols. Coming from a humble background in Liverpool, Angela wasn't born into power or privilege. Her father worked as a crane operator, and her mother was a nurse. But despite her humble beginnings, Angela has always stayed true to her roots. Even as she strolls through the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, her unmistakable Scouse accent is a testament to the woman she once was, and still is. Before Angela became a renowned tailor, designer, and royal wardrobe expert, she began her career in a much more humble role, as a maid. It was a modest start, but one that would lay the foundation for her extraordinary journey. In 1992, Angela took a job at the British Embassy in Berlin, working under Ambassador Sir Christopher Malib. But it was one fateful October day that would change her life forever. When Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip visited the embassy, Angela didn't flinch or become starstruck. Instead, she casually engaged the Queen in conversation, leaving a lasting impression. That moment marked a pivotal turning point, leading to her invitation to join the royal household. In early 1993, Angela was hired as a dresser for Queen Elizabeth, marking the beginning of an incredible journey. Within just 3 years, she earned a promotion to senior dresser. No small feat, especially given the weight of succeeding Bobo MacDonald, the Queen's longtime dresser and childhood friend. After Bobo's passing, Angela stepped into a monumental role, one that required her to fill the large shoes of her predecessor. Yet, Angela found a way to make the position her own. Beyond simply organizing the Queen's wardrobe and selecting fabrics, she became a trusted listener, a learner, and, over time, a confidant the Queen could rely on. The bond between Angela and Queen Elizabeth grew incredibly close, built on a foundation of trust that was rare even within the royal family. Not only did the Queen invite Angela to live within the palace, but she also made her an integral part of her everyday life. Angela contributed far more to the royal household than just her impeccable sense of style. She brought humor, loyalty, and a keen eye for detail, qualities the Queen deeply appreciated. What stood out most was the Queen's fondness for Angela's wit and the charm of her Scouse accent. In their quiet moments, walking side by side without the need for words, Angela and the Queen forged a connection that was unique and profound, a special bond that transcended mere duty. Trusting in the allure of glamour or the superficiality of selfies couldn't be further from the deep, meaningful relationship Angela Kelly shared with Queen Elizabeth. Angela became an indispensable figure in the Queen's life, a role few could ever hope to attain. Eventually, Angela was bestowed with the official title of personal advisor and custodian of the Queen's wardrobe. This wasn't just a job, it embodied everything Angela had come to represent to the Queen. Beyond selecting the Queen's outfits, Angela also took charge of the royal jewellery collection, overseeing priceless historical pieces, and meticulously researched the customs and traditions for the Queen's international visits, ensuring every detail was perfect. Each time Queen Elizabeth made an appearance, Angela ensured that every outfit she wore spoke volumes, not just about style, but about the powerful symbolism of the monarchy. Every brooch, hat, trim, and detail was carefully chosen, with each element holding deep meaning. Angela's eye for these subtle cues was unmatched, and no detail ever went unnoticed. Earning the Queen's complete trust wasn't an easy task, but Angela's unwavering dedication to her work made that trust a reality. However, to truly grasp the significance of their relationship, we need to look back to the early days, before Angela held her official title and became the Queen's most trusted confidant in all matters related to her wardrobe. In public, Queen Elizabeth always exuded grace and perfection, draped in pastel coats, standing tall with light-coloured hats, radiating under the chandeliers at state banquets. But behind every carefully curated look was Angela Kelly, the woman responsible for creating these hidden masterpieces. Angela wasn't merely in charge of selecting outfits. She meticulously crafted the message behind each garment, brooch, and hat. Her role went far beyond fashion. It was about preserving the identity, heritage, and timeless elegance of the monarchy, woven into every stitch, ensuring that each appearance reflected the royal family's dignity and legacy. Angela's role wasn't just about picking outfits based on personal preference. It was about considering a far broader picture. If the Queen was set to travel to Kenya in November, Angela would start planning her wardrobe the previous spring. Every fabric, colour and style had to align with the event, the climate, the local culture, and above all, the Queen's comfort. There was no room for improvisation, no space for errors. Angela revealed that bright colours were not merely the Queen's choice, but a necessity. The Queen needed to stand out in any crowd, whether she was visible from a distant balcony, behind a railing, or being viewed on a TV screen halfway across the world. Bright yellow, vibrant purple, and soft blue were more than just colours in the Queen's wardrobe. They were a deliberate strategy to communicate the monarchy's message from every angle. Dressing as a monarch was not merely about embracing contemporary trends, but also about upholding the deep historical values of the crown. Every decision Angela made went beyond aesthetic appeal. It carried cultural and political weight. The careful balance of personal style and ceremonial necessity allowed the Queen to project a powerful, graceful, and irreplaceable image in the eyes of the public, ensuring that her presence spoke volumes without saying a word. Angela Kelly, with her remarkable talent and unwavering dedication, has played a pivotal role in shaping and reinforcing the royal family's strong and authoritative image. As the loyal companion and custodian of Queen Elizabeth's wardrobe, Angela devoted her life to serving with care and precision. She once shared that she often worked with fabrics from decades ago, some dating back to 1961, such as the damask silk and lace carefully preserved in the royal archives. These materials were never discarded. Instead, they were thoughtfully repurposed. Despite Angela's high rank within the palace, the Queen has always upheld a firm belief in sustainability and the value of not wasting anything, reflecting her deep respect for both tradition and resources. Queen Elizabeth valued the lasting quality of well-made materials, believing that if a fabric was beautiful and durable, there was no reason not to reuse it. Angela Kelly's role required her to seamlessly blend the past with the present, both literally and metaphorically, crafting contemporary outfits fit for a 21st century queen. One of the more touching yet lesser-known details Angela revealed was the care she took in preparing shoes for the queen. Given the long hours the queen often had to stand during official ceremonies, comfort was a top priority. However, new shoes with stiff leather could cause painful blisters, so Angela took extra care in breaking them in, ensuring the queen's comfort without sacrificing style. Angela would quietly slip her own feet into the queen's new shoes, gently walking through the palace halls to soften the stiff leather before the queen wore them. No one ever asked her to do this. Angela understood the importance of such small, unseen acts of dedication. These quiet gestures were at the heart of her work, dedication that may have gone unnoticed, but was incredibly crucial. Angela's workspace within the palace was far from glamorous. It was more like a meticulously curated archive. Every outfit was carefully catalogued, with handwritten notes, fabric samples, and photos neatly labeled to ensure that the queen would never be seen wearing the same outfit at major events. The attention to detail was staggering, and every piece had a purpose, preserving the integrity of the royal wardrobe for years to come. Reusing outfits didn't mean they couldn't be given a fresh touch. Angela often breathed new life into the Queen's beloved coats by changing the buttons or adjusting the trim, small alterations that made a big impact. The Queen's wardrobe was never something worn once and discarded. It evolved over time, mirroring the progress of her reign. Angela Kelly once shared how she would thoughtfully arrange accessories, choose brooches and hats, and gently offer suggestions rather than giving commands. The bond between Angela and the Queen was not just professional, it was rooted in trust and collaboration, something Angela carefully nurtured over the years, creating a partnership that extended far beyond the royal wardrobe. Angela Kelly was not just a designer, she was also the Queen's most trusted advisor when it came to shaping her public image. While Queen Elizabeth's timeless style is often admired, few are aware of the countless hours Angela spent researching and meticulously planning each of the Queen's public appearances. One of the most unforgettable contributions Angela made was during the 2012 London Olympic Games. The Queen played a starring role in a short film that became one of the most iconic moments of the opening night. Billions of people around the world watched, eagerly anticipating a grand cultural performance, and Angela's meticulous planning ensured that the Queen's presence was unforgettable, adding another layer to her legacy. What truly shocked the world, however, was that no one had anticipated the Queen would take the leading role in such a humorous, unexpected film scene. In it, she coldly welcomed James Bond into Buckingham Palace. The film opened like a classic Bond scene, with Daniel Craig striding confidently through the palace halls. But then, the camera shifted to the Queen, sitting at her desk, calm and composed. As she looked up, she turned to Bond and said, "Good evening, Mr. Bond." In that instant, the Queen became a movie star. What followed was even more surreal. She and James Bond boarded a helicopter soaring high above London, and then, as if in a thrilling action sequence, they seemingly parachuted into the Olympic Stadium, delighting millions with an unforgettable moment. Of course, it was a stunt double who made the actual jump, but the illusion was flawless. When the Queen appeared live in the royal box just minutes later, the crowd erupted in disbelief. No one could believe their eyes. This wasn't just a fun moment, it was a historic milestone, showcasing a surprisingly modern side of the Queen. Behind this unexpected appearance was a familiar name, Angela Kelly. Angela had long recognized the Queen's playful nature, having witnessed the private, joyful moments that few were privileged to see. While the Queen rarely ventured beyond the palace, Angela understood and saw sides of her that remained hidden from the public eye, offering a glimpse into the Queen's more personal, lighter side. When director Danny Boyle and his team first proposed the bold idea of having the Queen participate in the opening ceremony of the 2012 London Olympic Games, most expected a polite refusal. However, Angela Kelly had a different perspective. She saw it not as something inappropriate for the royal family, but as a unique opportunity for the Queen to connect with a new generation in a surprising and modern way. It was Angela's gentle encouragement that allowed the Queen to step beyond tradition while still maintaining her inherent grace. Angela believed the Queen could pull it off, and as we saw, she certainly did. This wasn't the first time Angela had witnessed the Queen's playful side. One of Angela's most memorable stories involves an April Fool's prank she played on the Queen backstage. Angela had found a stuffed kingfisher, resembling a bird native to Australia, and carefully placed it just outside the Queen's window. She then told the Queen that a wild bird had flown in and perched there, claiming it had come from the Commonwealth. The Queen, with her trademark composure, examined the bird closely, studying Angela's serious face as she checked the toy, giving her no hint of the joke. It was a small yet telling moment that showed the Queen's ability to appreciate humour, especially when it came from those she trusted most. She turned, looked up, and with her characteristic wit said, "Are you joking?" But instead of getting upset, the Queen burst into laughter.
That moment spoke volumes. Angela wasn't just an employee. She was someone the Queen welcomed into her private world, a world filled with gentle humour, deep trust, and unwavering loyalty. While most people would be too cautious to joke with a monarch, Angela did so with ease. This playful exchange was a testament to the unique bond they shared. In a palace full of rituals and formality, Angela brought a sense of comfort, creating a space where the Queen could be herself, surrounded by someone who truly understood her. Angela didn't just help the Queen feel comfortable in her outfits, she made her feel human, especially in high-pressure moments when all eyes were on her during major public events. Angela stood just outside the spotlight, an invisible pillar supporting the Queen's calm and grace. She made sure the earrings matched the dress, the shoes fit perfectly, and the hat was placed just right. But perhaps most importantly, she always ensured the Queen felt at ease, often sharing a light-hearted laugh before stepping into the sea of people. In those quiet moments, Angela provided the reassurance and comfort that allowed the Queen to shine with poise and confidence. The small, yet incredibly important details were always meticulously tended to by Angela, ensuring the Queen shone brightly at every event. The flashing cameras captured only the public face, the elegance and grace, but never the quiet moments behind the scenes. The public didn't see the friend who fluffed the coat, shared a light-hearted joke, or knew exactly when to step back and give the Queen space. Angela Kelly didn't just uphold the Queen's style. She preserved the mood, the memories, and the magic of royal tradition. Every moment, whether it was adjusting an outfit or a silent supportive gesture, carried Angela's presence, making her the indispensable companion to the Queen, always working behind the scenes to maintain the elegance and grace that the world admired. While the Olympic moment was undoubtedly one of the Queen's most surprising appearances, it wasn't the only time Angela played a crucial role behind the scenes in royal history. It's time to shed light on a side of Angela Kelly that no fashion magazine has ever revealed. One of the most memorable stories involves Angela breathing new life into a royal heirloom, using nothing more than a simple tea bag. In the world of fashion, recreating a dress might seem like an everyday task, but when that dress has been worn by generations of royal family members since Queen Victoria's time, it's not just about tailoring, it's about preserving a priceless family heirloom. Angela's skill and dedication went far beyond the physical aspects of clothing. She was safeguarding history, ensuring that the royal family's legacy lived on through each carefully maintained piece. In 2004, Queen Elizabeth II approached Angela with a quiet yet profoundly meaningful request regarding the royal christening gown, which had been made in 1841 for Queen Victoria. This gown had been worn by over 60 royal babies, including the Queen's own children and grandchildren. However, after decades of use, the delicate Spitalfield silk and honey lace had become so fragile that even the lightest touch could cause irreversible damage. The Queen understood that something needed to be done, but she didn't want just a replica. She wanted a new gown that would honor the history of the original without merely copying it. Angela immediately recognized the gravity of this task. This wasn't just about crafting another dress. It was about creating a new heirloom that would carry the weight of royal tradition and family legacy. After many years of working closely with the Queen, Angela understood just how personal this gown was. It wasn't merely a piece of clothing, it was a royal time capsule, holding decades of history and tradition. Angela and her team embarked on a meticulous journey to recreate every detail of the original gown. The lace had to be flawless, and the silk needed to capture the same delicate texture as the original. Every stitch, the way the fabric draped, even the weight of the gown, everything had to be a perfect match. However, there was one challenge. The lace appeared too new, lacking the aged elegance of the original. So, Angela devised a clever solution. She used traditional Yorkshire tea to dye the lace, giving it the aged vintage look that would seamlessly blend with the original gown's rich history. Angela carefully soaked the lace in brewed Yorkshire tea, creating a subtle, timeless shade that perfectly matched the original gown's cream color, old enough to evoke the past, but fresh enough to befit a new generation. After numerous trials, the new gown was finally completed. It was first worn by James, Viscount Severn, the Queen's youngest grandson, at his christening in 2008. Though quiet, that moment was deeply significant. It marked the beginning of a new chapter, one where the royal family could honor their rich history while embracing the future. Since then, the gown has been worn by many royal babies, including Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, and even Archie Harrison, the son of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Each use of the gown continues the tradition, linking generations through the careful, loving work that Angela Kelly put into preserving this royal legacy. Each time the public sees that delicate lace and silk, they are reminded of a tradition that spans nearly 2 centuries, lovingly preserved by the steady hands of Angela Kelly. Her dedication goes far beyond clothing and ceremony. When the COVID-19 pandemic swept across the world in early 2020, Angela remained steadfast by the Queen's side, offering her unwavering support during some of the most challenging times in history. Every minute detail, from the Queen's wardrobe to her overall well-being, was meticulously looked after by Angela, solidifying her role as not just the custodian of the Queen's wardrobe, but as a protector of royal heritage and the spirit of the royal family through each era. Life within the palace, as in the world outside, changed dramatically, but Angela's commitment to the Queen and the monarchy remained constant, an unshakable presence in times of uncertainty. As everything slowed down, the untold story of Angela Kelly within the royal bubble began to unfold as the world came to a standstill. Even the grand gates of Windsor Castle quietly closed. Public events and royal tours were cancelled, and the formal ceremonies that had once been a constant presence seemed to vanish. What replaced them was something much more human and profound. Behind the castle walls, Queen Elizabeth II's life was stripped down to its essentials. No press, no lavish state banquets, just a few rooms, a handful of familiar faces, and an abundance of silence. In these quieter moments, Angela's role became even more significant. She wasn't just the Queen's wardrobe custodian anymore, she was a constant, offering comfort and continuity as the world outside changed. And so, amidst the stillness of Windsor Castle, an untold story about Angela Kelly within the royal bubble begins to unfold. What do you think about the quiet life that Queen Elizabeth and those close to her had to live during this unique period? Does this shift change how we view the royal family and the people who support them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more emotional stories and intriguing secrets in our next video.
And within that silence was Angela Kelly. Once serving the Queen at grand banquets and historical ceremonies, Angela now found herself in a much more intimate role, caring for the Queen in complete isolation. She became one of the few members of what was called the palace's HMS bubble, a tight-knit group of around 20 staff members who remained with the Queen and Prince Philip at Windsor Castle throughout the pandemic. Although the name might sound unusual, the reality was far from it. They couldn't leave, nor could they see their families. Everyone in the bubble made the ultimate sacrifice, putting their personal lives on hold to ensure the Queen's safety. In these unprecedented times, Angela's dedication to her role became even more profound, showing a commitment that extended beyond duty to a deep sense of loyalty and care. Angela didn't just give up weekends or holidays. She sacrificed many months of her life to protect a woman she deeply cherished and had worked alongside for decades. Within the bubble, Angela took on many roles. She was no longer just the Queen's dresser. She became a companion, a housekeeper, and even a hairstylist when needed, especially when there was no one else to call for last-minute touch-ups. Everything had to be managed on the spot, and the grand routines of royal life were scaled back to the essentials. Angela even took it upon herself to style the Queen's hair, ensuring that every detail was perfect, even in the midst of the quiet isolation of Windsor Castle. Her devotion went beyond the expected. It was a daily act of care, compassion, and duty, embodying the deep bond between the two women. Before occasionally making video calls and carefully taking photos, Angela tended to the Queen's iconic curls with the same precision she had demonstrated over the years, even without a beauty team to assist. Meals became simpler, routines quieter, and the days longer. The palace, once bustling with hurried servants and the soft click of polished shoes, now sank into an eerie stillness. But within that silence, something deeper began to grow, a stronger bond between Angela and the Queen. They teased each other in the afternoons, sometimes sharing quiet reflections, and at other times, filling the space with laughter. It was in these moments, away from the eyes of the world, that Angela and the Queen forged an even more profound connection, built on mutual respect, shared humor, and the intimacy of time spent together in isolation. They faced the pain together, as the entire world watched from afar. In April 2021, when the Queen lost her husband of over 70 years, Prince Philip, Angela Kelly quietly stood by her side, offering unwavering support during those heartbreaking and private moments. No photo could capture the deep sorrow they shared, but the weight of those moments lingered in every room they passed through. As the Queen prepared for Prince Philip's funeral, a solemn event where she sat alone, wearing a mask and adhering to strict social distancing protocols, Angela remained silently by her side, offering both emotional and practical support, helping her maintain composure in a moment of profound loss. Through the silence of the palace, Angela's presence was a quiet but steadfast pillar, providing the Queen with the strength to face one of her most difficult days. That moment, though solemn, was a testament to Angela's strength and unwavering loyalty as she stood by the Queen during her most challenging times. Angela Kelly is one of the few who supported Queen Elizabeth behind the scenes, silently offering her presence and strength during the most difficult moments. As the royal bubble began to dissolve and the world began to awaken from its long pause, Angela did something no royal assistant had ever dared to do before. It wasn't just an act of boldness. It was a revolution in how the relationship between the Queen and her companion was perceived. Angela stepped out of the shadows and, in her quiet yet undeniable way, redefined the role of a trusted aide. It was no longer just about service. It was about partnership, loyalty, and the profound bond that had grown between them over the years. Angela chose to share her story not through gossip or scandal, but in her memoir titled The Other Side of the Coin. What's truly remarkable about this book is that it isn't fictional. It offers the truth from Angela's own perspective. The years she spent alongside Queen Elizabeth are recounted through Angela's eyes, revealing the intimate moments and experiences that few have ever witnessed. The pages are filled with personal stories, quiet moments, private ceremonies, and rare intimacies that the public has never seen before. For the first time, the world got a glimpse into what it was truly like to do the Queen's makeup before a state banquet, to walk alongside her, to share laughs over breakfast, or to sit together in silence during the lockdown. Angela's memoir invites readers into the personal world of the royal family, where the boundaries of duty, friendship, and loyalty blur. Angela revealed an aspect of palace life that had long been hidden behind closed doors, unveiling the image of the Queen's closest confidant, a person so rarely seen by the public. The other side of the coin caused a stir throughout the palace, leaving many stunned by the deep, intimate details Angela shared. Angela Kelly did the unthinkable. She entered the Queen's world and stayed there for over 2 decades, gaining an unparalleled insight into the royal life. But what happened next truly shocked royal watchers. At the age of 67, Angela not only broke the silence, but also opened the palace doors, inviting the world inside. Her memoir was more than just a personal account. It was a revelation that changed the way we viewed the Queen's world and the people who played such a vital role in her life. And it all began with a blessing, a royal blessing. Queen Elizabeth II, a monarch who always valued silence, privacy, and ceremony, granted Angela a rare and unprecedented honor. She allowed her to write openly about their personal relationship. This wasn't something that happened after retirement, nor after the Queen's passing. It occurred while she was still alive. This wasn't just a quiet approval. It was a groundbreaking act. The Queen, who had fiercely guarded her privacy throughout her reign, was essentially telling Angela, "You may share my story." In doing so, she opened a window into her world, allowing the public to glimpse the deep, trusted bond between the Queen and her most loyal companion. This was a powerful gesture, reflecting the deep trust Queen Elizabeth had in Angela after more than 2 decades of working and bonding together. Angela was not just the Queen's dresser or wardrobe keeper. She was a trusted companion, the only one who could share the untold stories about life within the palace. As a result, Angela Kelly's memoir, The Other Side of the Coin, sent shockwaves around the world. This book was not a scandalous exposé or a piece of gossip. It was a truthful and profound account of the years Angela spent alongside Queen Elizabeth. The memoir offered an intimate glimpse into the quiet moments, private ceremonies, and deep bond they shared, providing a rare personal perspective on the royal life that had never been seen before. The book offers a rare glimpse into the warmth, sincerity, and surprisingly close nature of the Queen, an aspect that no camera or official portrait had ever captured. It wasn't the image of a monarch or a leader, but of a woman behind all the rituals and pageantry, a woman who giggled at inside jokes, insisted that things be done her way, and occasionally made spontaneous decisions that left everyone scrambling to keep up. Angela Kelly was not just an employee or an outsider. She was a vital part of the Queen's world, someone who was present during these intimate moments and knew her not just as a monarch, but as a woman with quirks, humor, and humanity. Angela's memoir reveals this side of the Queen that was rarely seen, making us see the Queen through a more personal, relatable lens. She was the one who zipped up the dresses, arranged the coats, and made sure every hat was tilted just right. Angela knew exactly how the Queen liked her silk scarves folded, which colors to avoid, and which brooches carried special significance for particular occasions. Angela even took it upon herself to break in the Queen's new shoes, walking around the palace to soften them before the Queen wore them. But perhaps most importantly, Angela understood the Queen's moods, her rhythms, and the moments when she simply needed someone to sit quietly beside her. It was in these quiet, unspoken moments that their bond grew stronger, a deep understanding and loyalty that went far beyond the duties of a royal dresser. For years, Angela had been a silent observer, always standing outside the frame in countless photographs. But now, with the Queen's blessing, she stepped forward to reveal the private moments that the world had never seen. Writing the book, however, was not without its challenges. The royal family is famously discreet, with a staff bound by unspoken rules passed down through generations. Do not speak, do not disclose, do not overstep. Even with the Queen's permission to break the silence, it was still a bold and brave move. Angela was stepping into uncharted territory, revealing intimate stories and moments that had long been shielded from the public eye, all while respecting the delicate balance between duty and loyalty. It was a courageous act that opened the doors to a side of royal life that had remained hidden for decades. Angela understood the risks, fully aware that some in the palace might not be pleased with her decision. But her loyalty was never to tradition. It was to the Queen herself, and the Queen had made it clear that it was time for the world to see this side of her. The other side of the coin didn't merely discuss clothing or official events, it uncovered deeply human moments. Angela revealed times when the Queen laughed at a wardrobe mishap, or chose jewelry for sentimental reasons, rather than strictly following royal protocol. Through vivid details, Angela brought readers into the intimate world of the Queen, making them feel as if they were right there, witnessing a truly relatable woman preparing for another day as a monarch. It wasn't just about the Queen's public image, it was about her humanity, her humor, and the private moments that shaped her as both a ruler and a person. The readers wholeheartedly embraced the book, making it an instant bestseller. They were moved by Angela's sincerity, warmth, and the rare personal insight she offered into the Queen's life. However, not everyone shared the same enthusiasm. Some senior courtiers in the palace felt uncomfortable with Angela's newfound openness. They believed her candor had shattered the centuries-old silence that had always been a hallmark of royal tradition. Whispers began to spread that Angela had become too close to the queen, gaining access that was never intended for someone in her role. Some felt that Angela had crossed a line, venturing into risky territory where the delicate balance of reputation and loyalty could easily blur. The very act of revealing such intimate moments stirred unease among those who had long held the palace's guarded nature as sacrosanct. However, Angela was not seeking fame. She spoke the truth as she knew it, with respect, caution, and most importantly, the Queen's blessing. Perhaps it was this honesty, paired with the Queen's trust, that made the book both powerful and controversial. The other side of the coin was just the beginning, not the end of Angela's story. There is one thing, though, that she kept private, a deeply personal detail that the Queen had never publicly revealed until now. It is a secret wish of the Queen, a side of her that the world has never seen before, even after decades of being in the public eye. The world has seen one part of the Queen, but Angela's story will forever be an integral part of her legacy, offering a glimpse into the woman behind the crown, a woman whose personal wishes and hidden depths are now shared for the first time. Queen Elizabeth II, through countless portraits and formal photographs, is captured as the epitome of tradition and grace. These images are carefully curated, with stiff collars, perfect hats, and flawless posture, reinforcing the dignity of a monarch who has represented centuries of history to millions around the world. She is the queen on her throne, an almost untouchable figure, enveloped in layers of royal protocol and ceremony. However, behind this calm and regal exterior lies another side of Queen Elizabeth II, a woman who longs to be seen not only as a monarch, but as herself. This more personal, vulnerable side, often hidden from public view, reveals the complexity of a life lived in the spotlight, where the Queen's humanity shines through, longing for recognition beyond the crown. This side of Queen Elizabeth II was quiet and private, hidden from the public eye until recently. Angela Kelly, who served closely and earned the Queen's trust, was one of the few privileged enough to witness this hidden side. In her heartfelt memoir, The Other Side of the Coin, Angela reveals one of Queen Elizabeth's most surprising wishes, to be photographed informally, allowing her to show a more relaxed and genuine side of herself. This was truly revolutionary from a royal perspective, where the monarchy has always fiercely protected its polished, perfected image. Angela's account sheds light on a side of the Queen that had long been kept behind closed doors, offering a rare glimpse into the personal desires of a monarch who, like any other person, yearned to be seen for who she truly was, not just for her crown. With every public event and carefully staged photograph designed to uphold long-standing values, tradition left little room for casual snapshots or spontaneous moments. But over time, the Queen began to long for a different image, one that revealed a more sincere and approachable side, allowing her to connect with the people beyond the grandeur and ceremony. Angela, who understood this desire deeply, skillfully performed a delicate dance, honoring royal protocol while subtly stepping beyond the boundaries of tradition. With the Queen's quiet approval, Angela set things in motion, making it possible for the world to see the Queen not just as a monarch, but as the woman she truly was, more relatable and human than ever before. Angela arranged a private, informal photo shoot, an intimate, relaxed session, free from the flashing cameras and the usual scrutiny of royal aides concerned with every detail. This was Elizabeth, as the world had never seen her before. Comfortable, unguarded, and genuine. One of the most striking images from that shoot captures the Queen standing casually with her hands in her pockets. It was a simple yet powerful portrait. Though just a small gesture, it spoke volumes. Here was a monarch embracing change, shedding the formalities of her royal role to reveal a more authentic and human side. It was a moment that transcended tradition, offering the public a glimpse of the Queen not as a distant figure on a throne, but as a woman with a presence that resonated beyond the crown. It revealed a side of herself that broke free from the rigid expectations of the royal family that had shaped her for decades. This wasn't just a photograph. It was the Queen's quiet rebellion against the stern image she had maintained throughout her life. Angela Kelly's book is filled with private moments and untold stories, offering a vivid portrait of the Queen's true personality. Beyond the photo shoot, Angela also shared surprising aspects of Queen Elizabeth that many outside the palace would never have guessed. One such example is the Queen's deep respect for the royal reserves, a vast collection of fabrics and materials gathered over decades. These treasures weren't just stored away. They were treated with reverence, carefully maintained and often reused, reflecting the Queen's commitment to sustainability and the preservation of royal heritage. Instead of always ordering new items, Queen Elizabeth often chose to reuse and recycle these precious materials. This reflects a surprising sense of thrift and practicality in a royal world known for its opulence and grandeur. Despite living within a monarchy full of protocol and ceremony, the Queen demonstrated a rare sense of frugality and thoughtfulness. Rather than indulging in lavish expenditures for new items, she opted to preserve and repurpose valuable royal materials, honoring their history and significance. Her attention to detail and respect for tradition was evident not only in her attire, but also in the way she approached the values and heritage of the royal family, demonstrating that even in the most formal settings, practicality and sustainability could play a significant role. This approach not only honored tradition, but also reflected a practical sensitivity, a perfect balance between duty and care. Readers were especially drawn to the stories about the Queen's sense of humor, particularly her kind-hearted reactions to April Fool's jokes. These moments shared by Angela softened the public's perception of the monarch, revealing a woman who could laugh, a person with quirky warmth hidden beneath the crown. The public responded with overwhelming warmth, appreciating this more human side of the Queen. Angela's sincere and respectful storytelling added a new, deeply personal dimension to the Queen's image, showing the world a monarch who, beyond her regal responsibilities, was also someone capable of humor, kindness, and genuine connection. It transformed her from a distant symbol into someone approachable. She was no longer just a monarch, but a woman who revealed emotions, practicality, and an unexpectedly relatable spirit. The other side of the coin offered a fresh perspective on the life of Queen Elizabeth, showcasing a life filled with grace, quiet strength, and genuine moments that few had ever imagined. Through Angela's stories, the Queen became not just a symbol of power, but also a model of humanity and humility, qualities that had long remained hidden from the public eye. These intimate insights allowed the world to see a side of the Queen that was not defined solely by her title, but by her authenticity, kindness, and deep connection to those around her. So, what do you think after hearing the surprising story about the Queen's secret wish and Angela Kelly's brave decision to share it? Has this changed the way you perceive the Queen? If you're surprised or moved, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. If this story has changed your perspective, leave a 1 in the comments, and if not, leave a 0. Please like and share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the next exciting stories. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.